That's your friend. Not just or you two. Not just your partner or your boyfriend or husband or wife or whatever. Your friend. You opened it up to this person to the T. A lot of people, Matias, we know this, but a lot of people don't know about that door. Simple as that. We here have been blessed to know el conocimiento de Dios, like the knowledge, the
learning Spanish on the podcast.
Yeah, the knowledge of God, is that correct?
Yeah. So.
Yeah, we've been blessed to know the knowledge of God. And don't quote me here, maybe you do know it, but before God or before giving our lives to Christ, we are blinded. We have old eyes. Yeah. Well, the verse is something that you are wearing a veil, something like that, or your face is covered with a veil. In that context, veil, yeah. Sorry, but with the Holy Spirit, and getting to know Christ and receiving Christ in your heart, that veil is gone.
Like the song says.
Yeah, right.
Blind, but now I see.
Like I was blind, but now you see. And then the Holy Spirit is working in you as you read, as you worship, as you pray, right? It's easy to say these things, but even for us, I think we do struggle with that now,
Yeah. Well, I feel like every Christian struggles with that stuff,
yeah.
man. It's not something that's gonna be easy, right?
Yeah.
It takes hard work. It's just like, for example, I don't know, obviously you've heard that analogy, just like if you want to go to the gym, right? You're not gonna go work out one day and be buff the next day. Like you have to be committed. It takes it's a process, and it's a process that you do for life, I think. And that's how I see it, at least. It's a process that you're gonna work through, and there's always gonna be challenges, and you have to be able to, I think, face them with God and be able to, put your trust in Him, and that He's gonna pull you out the other side. But it's not easy, for sure. 100%, it's not easy.
Yeah, I think it's a struggle that could be solved also by parents being more involved in someone's life at early age, and being like explaining what could happen during your teens, and you being more aware, not being oblivious, like to be like and I feel like that's why a lot of pregnancies happen, because
wham bam boom.
Parents don't talk about pregnancy or.
Yeah, but do you really want to
Of course.
advice? My parents would my parents wouldn't really come up to me, but if they kind of wanted to initiate that conversation, I'd just be like, nope, don't talk to me about it. I didn't want to. But at the same time, I feel like a lot of teenagers kind of don't want that. Like, I wouldn't want my mom to, or my dad to come talk to me about it. I mean, now I do. But when you're 15, 16, it's kind of like, no.
Yeah.
But
right? I guess it's like that thing, like the rebellion stage, like you were saying, right?
I guess, but that also depends, like, how you have raised your kids, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Not in a way that your kid is rebellious, but in a way in a way that you really love your parents and appreciate what they say to you.
It's trust, man. Like that trust that you have with your parents. It's that bond.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And like, for example, in my life, that was never the case. Like I never learned about relationships. I never learned about staying pure and stuff like that. Never. I don't remember. I
feel like that's like a kind of like a Latino thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a Latino thing. Like it's like something gross to talk about, but it shouldn't be like that, because it's something that is gonna break you or make you for life. You know what I'm saying? Relationships are so critical, man. Like, man,
Yep.
There are some relationships that mark you for life.
Literally.
You know what I'm saying? And those are the things that we should be speaking with our future kids, or your kids right now if you have kids, right? speak about those things.
Like touching on the parent topic. This is just this is not necessarily on breakups now, but to have trust within our parents or whoever, our guardians, we can't be too robotic and too strict. Yeah. You know, you gotta have that balance. No parent knows how to parent. You know, with reading those 101 tricks to how to raise a baby or how to be a parent, those books. They from the parents that I've known or I have spoken to, you're never ready. You just do it. Mm-hmm. You just do it at, I don't know how old your parents had you, whatever. You just do it, right? And sometimes parents become parents at a young age. Sometimes parents become parents at an older age. So it's just different, you know. And they're learning. They're learning as well as we're learning in this life. And yeah, just that's another good topic, parenting. Don't be too much of a friend, and don't be too much of a dictator. Don't be Stalin. Don't be Hitler, right? Because that doesn't let your kid grow.
That just does complete opposite of what you're trying to do.
Yeah, so you're trying as a parent. Hey, why don't you talk to me?
I like that. That's tough though, because I feel like especially in like Latino homes, it's so strict, right? It's like you can't really be like, oh, like it's the opposite of that. So we don't really get that much, freedom to do things. It's always like kind of a strict guidelines that we have to follow.
At 19, I had a curfew. I had to be home at 9 p.m.
This is my favorite thing to say, Matias. His mom said it. His mom actually found out.
I've had that too, man. Like I had a curfew ever since since I was 19.
I had a bedtime in like grade 12.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Bedtime? Like
I had
your parents came and tucked you in?
No. I did sports in high school, especially my grade 12 year, and so I would get home late, right? But like my dad would be like, "Why aren't you in bed?" And I'm like, "I just got home." But it was like that. I had a bedtime. I mean, granted, it was so hard to wake me up the next morning, but I can do it. I just would be a little late, right? But I had a bedtime. I couldn't go to I couldn't like really take the bus. I had to ask my parents not weeks, but days before just to hang out. I never hung out after school. I just never got to do a lot of those things.
Yeah, same. I never really got to do any of those things as well. It'd always just be like sports maybe, and that's that would be like the only thing I was allowed to stay after school maybe, and then have to go home after that. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah,
everything was I gotta ask my mom.
Yeah, literally, I gotta ask my dad. Hold on, yeah. So no.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I didn't finish saying that joke. What Matias said about your mom giving you the curfew. Yeah, I would always make fun of this guy. Literally every single time around 8:55 or 9:05, 9 p.m. His mom would call, and she said it for the first time. All these years, she said it for the first time to me. I'm like, what? You know about this? So the joke was like, pero Mate, ya son las 9. ¿Cuándo va a venir a la casa? In English, oh, Matias, it's 9 p.m. When are you coming home? Every single time. But, yeah, good love. I've always loved.
We kept on playing, and then she would call again.
Yeah, whatever we would be doing, she'd call. Yeah. But I mean, that's a parent. But anyways, back to the topic of breakup. Sorry about that. I found another good question. I don't know if we answered this, or maybe we did, or we didn't, or questioned this. How do I manage my hurt feelings? How did you manage? How did you manage? What did you guys do? How did you guys?
Not much to say.
How did you guys manage? I guess I'll just start with this one. For the first relationship, I was actually looking for God within that relationship. I was getting closer to God, and I guess I already found the answer midway through. And that's how I managed. Short answer. And then the other relationship was, just sobbing, crying, letting time heal, and trying to do things my own way. And now, back to the Lord, right? Letting God take control, surrendering. That's something we've been learning a lot recently, Matias and I. Surrendering our problems, our issues to the Lord, right? And it takes a lot, My favorite verse of all time is Proverbs 3:5. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not with your own understanding. Trust the Lord with your problems. Trust the Lord with your issues. Sometimes there's situations that we can't control. Maybe the person's done with us and I can't force you to love me. I can't force you to love me. I can't force you to love me. But, it sucks if we as friends or even as a couple or a partner, whoever it is done and it's through. Yeah. What are you going to do next? Yeah, you're going to cry. It's going to hurt. You're going to feel sad for a while. You'll feel pain. I'm sorry.
Just kidding.
Don't be so hard on them.
No, I mean, this is all of us. You'll feel pain. You'll feel alone. Like, I think it was you, Natalie, that was saying, that's your friend. Not just, or you two, not just your partner or your boyfriend or husband or wife or whatever. Your friend. You opened it up to this person to the T. To the T. Spiritually, where you are. Maybe sometimes physically. I don't know. Emotionally. Mentally. You've probably have spoken to this person with your true gut feeling. And now, they're not here anymore.
Where are they now? What's that song?
Right now, that's my answer.
I don't think it's just.
And I wish to give you guys that answer. Manage with the Lord and surrender to Him.
Yep. No, there's a saying that how does it go? Worry about the things that you can control and don't worry about the things that you can't. So if somebody dumped you, broke your heart,
Sucks for you. I'm just kidding.
in a way, yeah, it sucks for you, and you can't control that, man. Just move on. Like, if you stay there, you're gonna get hurt.
It makes it worse. Like, let's say so I think something that's really important is realizing when you love someone and when you're in love with someone. And a lot of people can't tell the difference, or they do, but they stay to convince themselves rather than pulling away, and it gets harder and harder and harder. And I think a lot of people kind of really need to question themselves, like, why? Or like, am I in love with you or do I love you? It's very different. And I never understood that until obviously like I was in my relationship, right? But it's tough.
And don't expect the person to change. That's the worst you can do. Because you can't even change yourself. So why are you wanting somebody else to change for you? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're a Christian, then let God do the change, right? But don't stay there, because you're not gonna change them.
If anything, it's like, why are you even with them if you want them to change, right? Like, but it's difficult.
That's funny that you say that, because you met X person, whoever it is, a certain way, the honeymoon phase, and you didn't realize this about them later on. And you're just trying to help or change. You know, sometimes we think that we're helping, but we're not. But we do love him. Like, I want you to be better, do better. I don't know. And sometimes we're doing damage to that or to them. Right? But the question is, how did you guys manage? Don't run away from my question.
Mine was terrible. I mean, I honestly, this time, I think I'm actually quite proud of myself. But man, I was a mess before. To me, it's the attachment. And also, like I said, like, that's my best friend, and, it's really scary for me to think of, like, the fact that you're going to go out in this world and everything that you know about me. And now I have to restart all over again with somebody else, and it's exhausting. I don't want to do that again. I don't want to do that with somebody else.
Weird, right? Like,
It's like you like all the intimate parts, not just physically, but like emotionally, mentally, everything, and then all of a sudden you're just gone, right? And now I have to start all like at the bottom again, and it really sucks. It's like I'm a person that likes the comfortability a little bit more than like the beginning honeymoon stage. I mean, it's fun, but like I like to be comfortable. And it just sucks. But like when I first the first couple breakups, I would cry myself to sleep, and I would cry. I would go crazy. I would start arguments. I like anything just to like kind of get him back and be like, just like anything I could find, and I would do that, and it's super, super toxic. Never do that, but I did that, and again, like we would get back together, but it's not like it was better, right? You're just like fine, right? Like it's kind of like you're forcing it. So, but this breakup, like I said, I saw a lot of patterns, a lot of things I didn't want to continue doing, and a lot of like self-growing. There's a lot of things that I had to change and was not okay that I was doing. And, like same for him. And I think that just both of us knowing that we had to change a lot about ourselves for all the aspects in our life, it just wasn't working as a couple, which is why I think like when you get in a relationship, you kind of need to know yourself and be stable enough, because otherwise it just crumbles. Like it's kind of like what you guys said in your last podcast. You need a good stable foundation, and if you have like past traumas, like him and I, we both have had our own past traumas that affected everything. So he could do something, it wasn't that big of a deal, but it would trigger something in me, and then all of a sudden I was angry, or like really like just you react, and then it just, you guys are fighting against each other rather than like helping each other, and then you just tear each other apart, and it's like really sad.
Did you feel at peace with your decision?
I do now, and honestly, like I used to tell him, like, if we break up, I don't want to be your friend. I don't want to know anything about you. Like you're gone, like dead to me, because I don't want to know. It would hurt me too much. However, and honestly, I can't even really tell you what it was in me that kind of changed, because it kind of was like I've always been this certain way, and then this breakup, all of a sudden, like I'm okay. I don't know. I mean, obviously it's God, but I don't know like what I did to really feel that way. But I feel okay now, and I honestly like I will always love him. He was like the first like love of my life kind of thing. So, and honestly, he's taught me a lot about a lot of things, about myself. Yeah. Which is getting like, now I'm getting to know myself more and like more in depth, and like there's no hard feelings. Like I honestly just want happiness for the both of us, and I feel like I could be his friend. Maybe not right now, but like down the road for sure. I don't think I'm gonna have the same attitude that I had, where it was like just I don't want anything to do with you.
I think it's time, because when my breakup happened, I thought the same way as you, in terms of, I don't want to see this person again, or I just hate this person. I don't want to look at this person. Hate them. Yeah, but once you take that time to heal, and you zoom out of everything, and then you realize, okay, this wasn't for me, so I shouldn't be acting like this. Let's keep it at peace. It doesn't mean that you get angry and you hate each other, but you like I said last time, if you start something with love, why are you gonna end it with hate? Like, you you were with this person for 8 years. Why would you create that in your heart? What you gotta do is take your time to heal, zoom out, and then realize, hey, I loved you all these years, but now I love you in a different way. Right? Not a romantic love, but more of
like a friendly love.
I care for you, and I've always have, but I'm not gonna go through the same thing again because we just don't work out together. And that happens.
Yeah, it happens. It does happen. How about
Or
you?
it's like also, you don't ever want to like see them be the person you wanted them to be with somebody else. I think that for me was what I was.
That's such a
really scared
for. What a line!
Like,
that's such a line.
Yeah, like for me, I think that's why I would get angry. I'm
Iconic
like, no.
moments on Stay podcast.
on the stage show. That's icon right there.
Iconic sentences.
Yeah. Wow, that's really good.
Yeah.
Can you say that again? Actually, like, wow. Say that, please.
I don't want them to be the person I wanted them to be with somebody else.
Let that sink in for a second. I have never heard of that.
What?
In my and I hear a lot of things like with random conversations with random people. I've never heard of that line or that phrase before.
Like I think that for me was it still is my fear. If I saw him with someone do exactly what I was wanting from him, I would die. I would literally be like, why? Right? But I mean, it is what it is, right? But I think that's what that gets you in the feels when you see that, and
awesome.
It's what I'm afraid of, right? But like I said, it's with time and God too. So
preach. How about you, buddy?
He likes to.
No, he knows.
I let him.
He's my bear. He's my bear.
So
how did you manage?
What was the question? Manage?
How did you manage in your breakup?
I feel like managing comes different ways. Obviously, like there's different ways to manage. Natalie manages her things in her own way. Matias manages his things in his own way. You manage your things in your own way. I manage my things in my own way, just like everybody else does their own thing, right? Yeah, there's similarities maybe. Well, I feel like we all go maybe through the same emotion, because that emotion is the same for all of us. Obviously, sadness is obviously there. Grief, loneliness, like those things, like everyone feels them, but the way we act out, I think, is different. So for me, I don't know, I guess for me it'd be what Matias said as well, just kind of trying to put it in God's hands and just let it be. But it's obviously tough, like it's so tough as Christians to just do that always, because we want to act out in different ways. I feel like it's not always the easiest thing to do, but yeah, that, and yeah, like everybody else, I feel like just goes through different emotions as well, right? So yeah.
Thank you. It looks like you wanted to say something, Natalie.
Like just make a comment. It's like a roller coaster of emotions.
Yeah.
It's like one day you're like this, and then you're like sad, mad, whatever. There's also a period where I kind of gone through where like I'm numb. I don't feel anything. Like I'd be like, I haven't cried yet, or I'm not mad yet, and I'm like, what is happening? Like what's going on? And then you get like that period of numbness just because you don't want to feel anything. So like I've had that too, where it's just like, but it hits later.
Oh yeah.
And you don't expect it, and sometimes it's not even like obvious. It'll be like something I like will start fighting with my family or something, like just little things, right? But it affects you, and you're like, oh, I see now. You've come.
Okay, welcome back. We just did a little cut here. We had to have an intermission. Thank you if you guys are still watching this. Now we're going back to a new question. We're going back to a new question. Ooh, wow. This is actually a cool one. Am I a good fit for him or her? Now this question takes us out of the box, because we're in the box. Well, we were in the box, but yeah. Am I a good fit for him or her?
I choose the fifth.
You plead the fifth,
Yeah.
or you?
I plead the fifth.
You plead the fifth, not choose the fifth. I'm gonna start with you.
Nah, I think I'll skip.
You'll skip this one.
I don't know. I still don't have anything like. I don't know how to formulate my answer yet. So
Interesting.
What was the question again?
yeah, like I forgot.
Am I a good fit for him or her?
I don't know. I feel like it's.
I think.
Or you want to go? I just feel like that's a tough question, obviously, because, well, at least for myself, I don't really. I don't know. I just feel like I don't put myself in those situations where I say like, oh, like I'm this amazing person. I should be in this position. I feel like I don't know. It's tough for me to actually answer that question because I feel like I don't put myself in that situation a lot. You know, like I don't praise myself to be good and be put into a situation. I don't know. I feel like that's me though. I don't know.
Yeah, like at the time being when you met your last relationship, whenever, did you think at that point in time were you a good fit?
Oh, like when we first met them?
Well,
I guess so.
Dude,
Like-
I think obviously everyone thinks they're good fit. Yeah, because you're in that position. You're like, oh, okay, I'm with this person. Yeah, you're obviously a good fit in that time.
I don't think so.
Actually, we can even answer it after now. Okay, like we can answer that question. Like now being out of that relationship, now we can answer that.
I think that's hard to say because you don't. We're going through different things. Like you and me are coming out of a fresh relationship. So I would be like, no, like right now, right? But I mean, I definitely have thought like, and him and I have both had said this. Like, again, in our previous breakups, we always used to say like, maybe if we would have just taken a break earlier and would have grown, we would have been amazing together. Because essentially it was like when it's good, it's so good. And then when it's bad, it's so bad. And I think a lot of that came from our own personal stuff. So, and it's not like I'm like praising like, oh, I'm the only one that's good enough for him. But it's more like, I think we really could have made it if we were in the right headspace and, you know, like emotionally, mentally, everything was healthy, even with ourselves. So down the road, and you know, and I'm kind of like really going through and I'm changing and I'm a lot better. Like even the way that I'm thinking now is very different. So do I feel like I would be a right fit for him? I think so. Just I don't think like yet, like maybe down the road or something. I don't know. That's a really complicated question.
It is. Like that's why I chose it. Like it puts us out of our own. It takes us out of the box that we're comfortable in, but makes us answer a weird question. You know. So yeah, that's the point.
Thinking out of the box.
The box.
I just
Jack
thought
in the
of
Box?
Cars right now. I thought of
Cars?
yeah,
Like
thought
the
of
movie?
Cars.
Like the Disney
No,
movie?
no, not.
Oh.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I was like Lightning McQueen. What?
No. But
Do it again.
good morning.
Good morning. You guys remember at the end of the last episode, part 3? This guy. Anyways, but
Two things came to my mind. When Joey said last time, we're reading the same book, but are we reading the same page? You know what I'm saying? And that
Yeah.
and that comes
Iconic phrases
Wait.
on stay.
Who said that?
my boy Joey.
Joey, hey, shout out.
My man Joey.
Shout out to
Joey.
And that's so good because you could be in a relationship, but that doesn't mean that you're reading the same page. You know what
That's
I'm saying?
crazy.
Right?
I like that. I wanna
Sorry,
get that
can you repeat
quoted.
yourself?
See, yeah, I didn't know about the line that you said.
But
Now
you know what though?
Wait, can
That
you
was-
repeat yourself, Matias? I
Say
didn't
it
hear
one
you.
more time.
iconic moments
I forgot.
on the
Oh,
station.
I actually didn't hear, bro.
Oh, you can be reading the same book, but you can be also reading a different page of the book.
Wham bam boom.
Boom.
But it's crazy because when you
That was
when
so
you were
sick.
like,
He's like, boom.
it's crazy
Yeah, what were
because
you gonna say,
when
Natalie?
when you're having conversations or little arguments, whatever, you're always like, yeah, but you're not on the same page as me. Like, you say that, right? But I've never thought of it like that.
Yeah, exactly.
That is very interesting. I like that.
And I have another one. Another one.
Another one.
Iconic moments.
If you have a Lamborghini or whatever, how do you call it?
Lamborghini.
Lamborghini.
Whatever, yeah.
No, it's Lamborghini.
And you have a Porsche.
Porsche.
Hey, that's my car. What's up?
Is it Porsche or Porsche?
Porsche.
Porsche, sadly, but
Porsche.
whatever.
And you try to put...
Oh, wait. How do you spell BMW?
Okay, that's sorry. Go ahead, continue, Matias. That's don't. Okay, go, Matias.
I forgot what I was going to say.
If you have a Lamborghini and a Porsche.
Okay. You want to make the car run because it's not running, right? And you try to put a car part from the Porsche into the Lamborghini to make it start. Is that going to start?
I'm
Nope.
the Lamborghini, by the way.
Bruh. That's not going to start because there's two different parts, right? Like, and that's how we try to do relationships. We're the total opposite. It's not gonna work out. We know it's not gonna work out, but we keep on trying to make it work. It's just not gonna start.
You're trying to turn the ignition. Work, yo. There's full gas in this.
Yeah, man. You try to do it for so many years, and it's just not gonna happen. You guys are just total opposites, right?
Yeah.
And for example, in my relationship, like, were we good fit? I don't know. I would say. Yeah.
What's up?
It's a good question, but I would say, from my experience, if you have a lot of conflict in your relationship and you both have strong characters,
Wow. Yeah, that's heavy.
man, and you want to live like that your whole life?
It's like a tank versus a tank every day.
Exactly. So how is that gonna work? You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that it can't, but it's just so hard because you guys have the same personality. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And like the same things trigger you, and you fight about the same things, and man, it's just so complicated. It's complicated. Yeah, I just stressed right now thinking about it. You know what I'm saying?
So get me out of here, please.
You
so,
start.
right? So
It's alright, bro. I'll give you a massage afterwards.
yeah, give me a massage. Right.
Like I said, we don't condone those type of massages, but
Yeah.
I was just
normal
doing a
massage.
normal massage.
Okay, whatever. Never mind. Sorry.
But yeah, good question though.
Yes, thank you.
question.
Yeah, we all answered it. Yeah.
Confusing, but
A little confusing, but hopefully it provokes
yeah.
a spark in your brain. Next question. What is the remedy for a breakup?
The Lord.
God, man.
Okay.
I
God.
feel like we all.
We all answered that.
God.
There you go. The remedy for a breakup. God. Next question.
And time.
And, yeah. And
Time. You know, remember what I said in the last podcast? My favorite word of this year. Time.
How do you spell it?
LST. No, I'm kidding. TIME. Time.
He's still it out.
Okay, here's another one.
Wait. What if the audience is not Christian?
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Time.
What? Okay, Matias brought a good concept here. Right now, here on this table, I can confidently say that we are believers of Christ, and yes, we're followers of Christ, Christians. Matias said that, okay, these are some viewpoints I can relate and whatever, but what happens if the audience or some members are not Christians or other people of different faiths? What is the remedy in that case?
Counseling.
You can say counseling. The general word time does not just exist for Christians. Come on, be bigger. Time.
Do better.
The gym.
That's something, yeah.
Yeah, finding a hobby.
Yeah.
Finding a
Don't
hobby.
isolate yourself. Don't isolate yourself.
Don't isolate yourself. Find a hobby, like Natalie said. Do something that you love. Now you have time.
Something
Literally.
that you love or something that can occupy your time, you know?
Don't go on Tinder.
Yeah, stay busy. What did
Don't
you
go
say?
on Tinder.
Oh, don't go on Tinder. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yes, don't go on Tinder. Because now, like I said last time, if you do that and you're already imperfect, you're already broken. Your heart's broken from last week, recently, or whatever, last month, or it can even be a year, and you still feel the same position. Yes, hurt people. Hurt people.
You forgot the comma.
Hurt people, comma. Hurt people.
Thank you.
Anyways, so yes, these are things. Do we have a lot of time to get? No pun intended. Do we have a lot of time to talk about these different aspects of how we can heal and what are the remedies? There's so many remedies. Be social, distract yourself with friends, talk about it. Be open. Don't be closed. Be open with not with everybody, but with your set social circle. Yeah. Google it. There you go. It looks like you wanted to say something.
Oh, it's okay.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, that's se le fue. That's remedies for you. You wanted to say something?
No.
Okay.
They can get a dog.
Yeah,
Get a dog? Well, yes, you can.
Yeah, blue dog.
Anyways,
Tough days.
Something squishy.
Something
Yeah.
squishy.
Squishy.
Dog.
Lickety split. Anyways,
Wait, dogs are squishy?
if you squish them.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's like something, I guess.
Anyways, next question here. This is a good one as well. Were there things you could have done better? Of course.
1,000%.
I mean, of course. Okay.
That's
Fine.
like-
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know the question was that simple. Oh, I'm sorry.
I mean, it's not simple, but it's like everyone.
All the time. Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, why are you broken up?
Yeah.
Like.
All right. That's the end of the podcast. See you guys next week.
No, but it's crazy because when we finish relationships, we see it as like we don't need to change, the other person does.
Yeah.
I feel like
Not
no,
always.
not always. I feel like
I think most of the time.
really.
Most of the time, like for me, it was like that. But now I'm like, oh shoot, I'm broken. More broken than she was.
Yeah.
I feel like some people also have like that perspective where they feel like they want the opposite way, you know?
Yeah.
So instead of, what did you say again? Like how did you feel?
I forgot.
No, you said you felt like it was their fault,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. When you're hurt, that's
Yeah.
That's how
But
you
then
think.
also I feel like some people feel like it's from the start, it's like their fault. So it's like there's nothing wrong with the other person. And like that person is perfect.
Exactly.
And that's tough because I feel like there's people like that that have that feeling or that thought process where it's like, no, like I'm the one that did bad here and it's my fault, and the other person it's not their fault. Like, oh, like it's all my fault, and I need to see how I need to fix this, and then you start putting a lot of extra stuff on yourself that's not really, it's not like purposeful because it's not really true in a way, because honestly it takes two, right, to make something work. It's not just one person. So in the end you got to realize that, I think
accountability is a huge thing when it comes to that.
Yes.
Because also, there's sometimes, let's say someone makes a mistake, right? And it could be quite big or whatever that means to you. And you do something because that person did something to you. It kind of becomes something, and then you're like, you blame it. Like, well, I did this because you did that, right? And then even though you did something, and even though it's not on the same level, you're still pointing fingers, and whatever you did wrong, you're still saying, well, it's your fault, right? I think that's a very slippery slope that we all go through, including myself. I did that as well, 100%.
Yeah.
I would be like, well, if it wasn't for you doing this, then I never would have gone and done that, and that wouldn't have hurt your feelings, right? So who does it come back to?
Like the Spider-Man meme.
Yeah, it's the Spider-Man meme. However, I still think that, like, for me, I did that for a long time, and then, like, later on, I was like, okay, well, I'm still apologizing because I still hurt you, and I can't tell you whether or not what you're feeling, but it's kind of like you also kind of need to know how you're affecting other people as well.
I think that's like character based, right?
Mhm.
Like how you are as a person. Like if you're a vengeful person, you're gonna act out in vengeful ways, right? Like
Which
you're
is
gonna
what I struggled with for sure.
and I feel like no, and not to say that it's fine or anything, but I feel like everyone has something to work on, right?
Mhm.
Maybe that's your thing, and there's different things like for everybody, and I feel like again, we're all human, right? So I feel like we all struggle with things that aren't the best, and it's our path like throughout the things that we go
Mhm.
through life, and not just not just like relationships, like romantic relationships, but also like just our own lives, like literally like what you go through and learn how to like kind of handle certain things that you know about yourself that aren't the best.
Mm.
And yeah, I think honestly, yeah, just being able to know, I feel like that's awesome that you understand that it's like that was the thing that kind of mess with you, because now you know that, right? So it's like,
Well, the thing is that to me it happened kind of like I mean I always knew what I was doing, but I didn't really look at it until like after I was like, okay, but I still hurt you, right? Like again, but like if I hurt you right now and I said something offensive to you, and to me it's like not a big deal, but you're like, hey, you hurt my feelings, I'm nobody to say, well, no, I didn't, right? Because you're feeling them. And I think for me it was we would put like our mistakes kind of on a scale. Like yours was worse, so you know,
that is,
yeah,
That is
100%, 100%. It's like, well, yours was worse, and you did this, which led me to do these things. So it comes back to you. That's not my problem. Which it is. It's both of their problems, right?
Like you're hurting them on purpose. Like,
No,
Yeah,
well,
but
you're
not
just trying to one
always,
up one.
because
They're trying to
because
one up
sometimes-
each other. Yeah, it's just like,
Yeah, but it's not always. Like for me, like it was kind of happening, and then I was like, oh, like when he told me, like, hey, you're doing this. At first, I was down. I'm like, no, I'm not, because I wasn't like thinking like, oh, what am I gonna do today, and like, you know, to mess you up, right? It was more like I didn't know that I was doing, because like you said, hurt people. And then later it was like, I promise you I wasn't doing it like that. It was just, you know, and then later on it was like, okay, like I'm sorry, like that I did that. Even though it doesn't matter what drove me to do it, I shouldn't have done it regardless, you know? And that's what I mean. Accountability is really important, but sometimes like that vengeful thing, or when you're like pointing fingers and whatever, it also sneaks up on you and you don't really notice until someone points it out.
I feel like that's also like a tough like situation, because you also have your own stuff, right? Like we all deal with our own things outside of the relationship. Like even if you're if you're in a relationship, you still have your your whole life like still outside of that kind of, and you have to deal with other things, and those other things might be like stressful and stuff like that. And finding ways to not stress kind of your partner or the person that you're with, or your friends, anything like that, because you want to keep everything to yourself and try to deal with it, kind of builds up in you kind of sometimes, I feel like, and that causes you to kind of react in certain ways that you wouldn't. So I feel like that's also another I don't know, like something that could happen in those cases where you act out, which is tough, but it's all, I think, part of the process, I think, of being in a relationship, being able to kind of control that and really have it locked down, you know, like know what's okay and know what's not okay. What do you think, Matias?